So hope my screen is visible to you all now. Is it visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So good morning, everyone. This simple workshop or awareness session that you can say on research paper writing and publishing international journal and conferences. Okay, so you all have done one paper, that is a survey paper for your project, and in fact I have seen 2-3 papers, and I found that few things are missing that we don't know as a research paper or whatever we are writing for conference, what should be the procedure. So that procedure we have to see. Now this whole presentation that I have created is only for research paper reading, writing, and understanding of the research paper itself. What do you mean by research paper, or what we understand with this publication of a research paper or conference? So the first thing, that whenever we are saying research paper, so this research paper could be of many types. Either I can publish in a conference, either I can publish in a journal, either I can publish in letter, either I can publish in a technical report. So there are many ways to write a paper, or I can say there are many ways to document that work, whatever we have done. So this research paper are considered to be an integral part of the education. So why it is in education? Because specifically in PG courses, in MTech, and in good universities, in fact in UG itself, there is a concept of term paper. And concept of term paper means at the end of the course, you have to write a paper based on the understanding of that course. So you can pick any topic of your choice and you have to write a paper. You have to work and then you have to document that. So first thing, that's the, by default it is coming in education. It doesn't mean that if I'm not a PG student, if I'm not the doctorate candidate, PhD student, I should not write the paper. No. Anyone who is in technical field, non-technical field, they can write and document their paper. In other words, it is a process of gathering information in order to solve current problem, and it increases human knowledge concerning the chosen field of the research. Okay, so second point says it's a information gathering process where we are simply solving a problem and documenting that solution of that particular problem for other people. So it is also known as enhancement in literature. So we are contributing in literature. Although we are not writing books, we are not writing any other document, but writing a conference paper, writing a research paper itself is the contribution in literature. So we have to think in that direction, that whatever we are going to document is going to be useful for someone. So that understanding is important. A research paper get done beneath the assessment of an instructor or educator. Specifically those who are in academics, in research scholar, teaching assistantship, all these are those who are working for research, contributing in literature. This could be one assessment parameter, but it is not the whole soul. It's a one parameter only. Okay, so that is important. A research paper may offer a thesis, but not vary as in depth. So as I said, for masters or for PhD candidates, it is compulsory, it is mandatory to publish paper. And because it is compulsory, it is mandatory to publish paper. So in such cases, the work that is done by the candidate either in masters or in PhD, he has to write papers or he has to write document where he can show that the work that he has done can be reviewed by many people. So this is the general understanding of a research paper. Okay. Now the second question is, now we generally got the idea, okay, what is this research paper, then why we want to publish it? The basic idea that we already got, that we want to contribute in literature, but there are some other parameters that we used to say that, okay, why to publish? So the first is credit. So credit means whoever is writing the paper, he will get definitely that credit. That, okay, I am the author of that particular paper, or I am the author for that particular conference or presenter. So that credit is the first thing. Then second is recognition. So recognition means whenever you are publishing paper in international community, then you will get recognized that, okay, you are the person who have done so much in the literature, you have contributed in research, you will be recognized. Discoverability. All the paper published in scientific data are indexed in Web of Science, PubMed, PubMed Central, Medline, Scopus, Google Scholar, as well as being available and discoverable on nature.com. So discoverability means once you have documented your paper, once you have documented your research and published, people can see the work done by you. If you have not published, whatever you have done at your home, your college, no one can recognize that and no one can discover that. The second is reusability. So reusability means once you have written the document, if someone is following the same area, someone is working research in the same area where you have submitted your document, they can read your paper, they can use the research done by you for their research. So the same document that you have generated can be reused. And then awareness. So awareness means publishing a data descriptor will enable the data generated to be more widely available to your peer and community. So whenever we say peer and community, it means the people, those who are working in the same area, those are the peer or our community. If someone is working in signal processing, so the people, those who all are working in signal processing only is the peer for that particular candidate, because they are the people, those who are going to read that paper, because they are also working the research, they are also doing the research in the same direction. Accessibility, peer review, expert service and technology, they are the other parameters causing why we should publish our paper. So for this, I will not take much time. The most important thing is how to read a research paper, because I have seen whenever you have started doing the review people have not understood that what is the meaning of a review paper. Technically, if I say a review paper can only be written by the expert, those who are working in that particular domain for more than 10-20 years, 10 to 15 years. So if someone is doing research in signal processing for last 10 years or 15 years, he is the right candidate to write a review. Then only he can give you the advantage, disadvantage, pros, cons of the methods available in the literature. not a candidate who have just started or just begin the research. They are not the eligible candidates for writing a review paper. The review paper can only be written by the experts. But the paper that we have asked you is specifically for the project, that is a literature survey. And literature survey means the topic that you have chosen for your project. What are the existing resources in literature for that particular topic? So if someone has said, I am working in a model which is going to help the farmers, and I'm going to use a specific technology, whether it is robotics, whether it is machine learning, whether it is IoT. So literature survey will give me the idea about the existing technologies in the.
To Chennai. I'm going tomorrow to Chennai.
You can mute yourself. Whenever you have question, you can unmute and you can ask. Otherwise, you can mute yourself, please. So, how to read research paper? The first question is, before going for the literature review, what should be the process that we have to follow for reading a paper? So the first point is, begin by reading the title, abstract, and introduction. This is a sequence. First title, then abstract, and if required, Suchit, you can mute your mic. Can you see the screen now?
Yes, sir.
Fine. So you're talking about how to read this research paper. So first thing that we have to see is the title. Title is all about the keyword or key. Okay. So first that we have decided, okay, I am going to work in this particular problem, identification of problem statement in consultation with your supervisor, your mentor. And once you have identified your project, keeping that project in your mind, you can identify the keywords. Let's suppose it is machine learning, whether it is AI, IoT, embedded, VLSI, whatever the thing that you are going to use for your project. So this could be the one keyword. Then second is the application area where you are going to use it. Let's suppose agriculture, healthcare, or any other place. So once you have searched the papers, how to find whether this paper is useful for you or not? If you think that this paper is useful for you, the only method is first to read the abstract. And after reading the abstract, you will get to know whether this paper is of your use or not. No need to read the 10 to 12 pages of that paper. So first thing is title based on your keywords, abstract. After reading the abstract, if you find that this abstract or this work done by the researchers is of your area or your area of interest, then only you can go for the next round, that is introduction. And after that, read the sections and subsections heading only, but ignore everything else. So identify the paper, read the title and abstract, and then see the sections, subsections heading, what are the methods, what are the things that is written in that paper. No need to go in detail of that. And then directly go to the conclusion. After this conclusion, have a look of the references that is used in that paper particularly. And with this, you will get to know the things that you have studied in the abstract and conclusion. It will give you some kind of idea that, okay, what is the work that is done in that particular paper. If you think that is well suited for your work, you can pick that paper. Otherwise, no need to pick that paper. Most of the time we have seen that the people, those who have started their research and writing paper, they have invested their much time in reading the whole paper. And for review, if I am going to review more than 150 papers, so to understand a single paper, minimum 1 day is required. If you are very good in research, then only you can understand in 1 day. Otherwise, it will take more than a week. That time we don't have. We cannot give 150 weeks for the review or literature survey. So the method, time-saving method is just to read the title, abstract, and introduction. Now the second question came, how to write or what to write. So this is a table. I will share with you this table so that it will help you. So the basic component of any research paper is abstract, introduction. In introduction, literature review, method and material, research, discussion, conclusion, and last one is title. So we'll try to understand what should be there in the abstract. So the abstract size varies from journal to journal, and they generally ask to write an abstract between 150 word to 250 words. It is written 200 to 250 words. It again depends on journal to journal. But what to write in abstract? So the purpose of this abstract is mini version of the paper. So if it is a mini version of the paper, should I have to write this abstract in the beginning, or should I have to write this abstract at the end? So different people have different opinion, but majority of the experts says this abstracts to be written at the last. So then what to write at the beginning? How to start a paper? That I will come to the next after this slide. And then in which mode we have to write the verb tense? It's a simple past refer to the work done. So the abstract that we are going to write, it should be the immediate past, because this is the work we have done in last 1 or 2 or 3 months only. So the verb tense will be the simple past. And the element of the abstract, what should be there in that abstract? So the first is principal objective. Why we have picked this problem? What is the method that we have used to solve that problem? And what is the finding? What are the results that we found? And in the 1 or 2 line, the conclusion. So the purpose is mini version of the paper. So all the 4 major components we have taken in this abstract itself. So 2 line is the introduction of the problem, 2 line for the objective, method, results, and conclusion. So put together 200 to 250 words only. Then next is introduction cum literature survey or literature review. So if you see in introduction, the tentative dimension is given, that is 500 to 1000 words, and literature review is 1000 to 2000 words. Okay, so what is the purpose of this literature? Provide the rationale for the study. So literature and introduction will create the base of the work, and it will also tell about the work done by the other researchers and the gaps between the studies. So the elements are nature and scope of the problem, review of relevant literature. And when I'm saying review of relevant literature, it means if 10 people have proposed 10 different methods, so I am going to address all the 10 methods in my literature review. And I will also comment that researcher or author A have done using this method, he found this. So this is the common understanding of the literature that I am going to present in my paper. So author's name ABC, the problem statement, the finding and conclusion. And I have to identify the limitation of that study also, if I am going to write a review. So I have to tell the method proposed by that particular researcher, the result, whatever they have given, that result has so and so limitation. So limitation or the gaps identification is the most important in literature review. If I am not finding if everything done, then there is no scope of work for we people. So we need that gap identification after reading that literature. Hypothesis, approach and justification for this approach, principal result and main conclusion. So this is the element of introduction and literature review. And then next came method and material. So method and material is again depend on the different type of research area. So in method and material, if you again see, the dimension is 500 to 1000 words, sampling, data collection and measurement. So let's suppose someone is working in a artificial intelligence problem or pattern recognition problem where the candidate has to collect the data. So data collection is the important aspect before starting our work. So describe what was done, experiments, model, or field study. And then again, if you see here in this literature, present refer to stabilized knowledge in the literature. So the tense in this literature review will be present. The sentences should be in present tense. Again, in method and material, because it is just the work we have completed in last 2 to 3 months only. So it's a simple past, refer to the work done, and the component will be description of material, description of procedure in the logical order, sufficient details so that the procedure can be reproduced. So if I am going to apply a particular method in my work, I have to document that so that the next time when someone is reading that paper, he should know after reading that paper what is the work you have done before documenting. So material method is an important section to understand the work. The last is, next is result. So in result, 500 to 1500 words in analysis. And the result will present the data, the facts, what you have founded, calculated, discovered, and observed. Okay. And the component or elements are your observation about the result, compare, contrast between the experiment and the results of calculation using the data such as rates or error. So now result is all about the findings, documenting the findings. When I'm saying documenting the findings, so if I have calculated some error, if I have calculated some quantitative numbers for the claim that the method and the process used in this particular work is the best compared to available methods. So that is the result. And next is discussion. In few cases, you will find result and discussion both together. Discussion is all about the problem statement that you have identified before starting your work, the work that you have done, and the findings. So how you are going to relate your findings with the hypothesis or the plan before starting that work. So it shows the relationship among the facts, put results in context of previous research. So discussion means if I'm saying that the parameter, let's suppose x, which is supposed to be in the range of 1 to 10. So in result, I have said, okay, I got 6. So this is the quantitative parameter that I have received as 6. Let's suppose this is the value of x. And in discussion, I am going to write the value of this x should be in range of 1 to 10. Where if it is tending to 10, it's a good method. And if it is not going to, it is going toward 1, it's a worse method. And now I have received the quantitative parameter that is 6. So can I comment that my method is better than some method based on this quantitative number? If I can comment, then I can say all these statements in discussion. And the tense that we are going to write the document paper specifically for the discussion will be in present tense. Emphasis on the stabilized knowledge present result, because the work done in last 2 to 3 months. Now I am documenting that work. So documentation is happening in the present. So the tenses that we are going to use for writing this discussion will be present tense. And the elements of that particular discussion is trends, relationship, generalization shown by the result, any expectation outlying data. If any error is there, that you can mention that also in discussion. Let's suppose this is the classification problem. Let's suppose I have used this SVM support vector machine, and let's suppose this become my outlier somewhere here. Okay, so these two outliers are going to disturb the result because it's supposed to divide like this, but because it have divided like this, so this become the wrong classification. It went to some other class. Similarly, this came to this class. So if some error is there, that also I can highlight this error happened because of this in discussion, and how your result agree disagree with the previous studies and why. This is the discussion. So sometime result and discussion sections you can see in the same section in few research papers, and in some places it is written separately. And then next is conclusion. So conclusion, you can see the summarize is your principal findings, and the tense for again writing for this conclusion should be in present tense. And the element of the conclusion is conclusion should be related to the introduction, the hypothesis, summary of evidence supporting each conclusion, and implication, the significance of your result or any practical application. So now if you compare the element of conclusion and element of abstract, it look like same. Principal objective, method used, principal result, main conclusion. Similarly, here you see conclusion should be related to the back to the introduction, hypothesis, summary of evidence, each conclusion, implication and significance of a result. Now, where is the difference then? If you see, the abstract is written in simple past. The tense that we use is past tense in abstract. And in conclusion, the tense that we have used in present tense. So while we documenting the research paper, we have to take care of all these things. And last, I have written this the title, because day one I can write my title of A to Z. Let's suppose during the work I found, okay, no, it should not be A to Z, it should be C to X only. And later I found that no, it should be F to H. So my headline of the research paper will change the moment I am going to finish my paper. I can start with a broad title, but later I can revise my title so that I can draw the reader's interest. And in general, it should be 8 to 15 words. Generally, it should be less, but sometimes we have seen that many of the researchers have given the title, method used, and other things. So this is the writing. Now you can see introduction, the 3 questions that we have to give, the answers, what, how, why. We have to ask these questions to ourselves before making this introduction. Literature review, why and how. So we have to ask this question by seeing that paper, and we have to find the answers of all these. Methodology, how I am going to solve this problem. And if I am going to solve this problem with this particular method, then what is the data requirement for that particular solution? And after finding this data requirement, the statement of limitation. A statement of limitation means, is there anything that we have not addressed? If we have not addressed, then that is the limitation. And then last one is conclusion. So that was the basic understanding of reading and writing. Now, one more thing I have seen, that many of you are not, you have not learned how to document, how to make a report. And what should be the basic tool that we have to learn before writing a paper or thesis or document. In fact, if it is a project report itself. So the tools to learn for the research paper writing, you can write in your chat itself. If you have worked with Google Scholar, how many of you have worked with Google Scholar, used this tool? Anyone? You can write in chat. No one have worked? Microsoft Office. Microsoft Office. Atulya have used Google Scholar. Google Doc. How many of you use this Google Doc? LaTeX. Overleaf. And how many of you have heard about the citation manager? EndNote, Mendeley, JabRef. Zotero. I will give you the idea of all these tools. In fact, don't have much time, but after ending this presentation, I will give you the idea of all these tools, how to utilize, how to use these tools. Okay. Dropbox, how many of you used this Dropbox? That is also very important. Very important tool. Google Drive. So I'll give you the idea that how all these tools are helping us to write a document. Okay. So now, even though let's suppose we have written our paper, we have done all the experimental work, documented that work done. Now the next question is where to publish. What are the important features for identification of the journal and all? So 70,000 journals are there. And if 70,000 journals are there, can we publish in all journals? No. we cannot publish in all journals because these are the 70,000 journals for the all domains. So I cannot go in some others domain. I have to pick the domain where I am working. If I am a person of signal processing, so I should search the research journals where I can publish my work. I cannot publish my work in some medical field. I cannot publish my work in some communication. I cannot publish my work in VLSI field. So every year 6 million scientific medical articles get published. 6 million every year. Only less than 15% articles published on a particular topic are useful. So you can see many of the researchers, many of the people are only documenting the papers and getting published, but of not that use. So if I'm going to document my research, it should be useful. Someone has to look to that particular experimentation and contribution of the individual so that they can utilize that research in their work. The important term that we all have heard about, the impact factor for a journal. So the meaning of the impact factor, what is the meaning of impact factor? Impact factor means, let's suppose there is a journal X and is claiming that my impact factor is 10. So should I consider this impact factor 10 is very good journal? What is the meaning of this impact factor 10? So the meaning of impact factor 10 is for, let's suppose 2014, I have to identify the impact factor for any journal. So I have to check two things. One, the number of times article published in 2012 and 2013 were cited by index journals during 2014. So if I'm going to give you the list of the impact factor of 2014, so it means I will check the research paper published in 2012 and 2013 only. And after seeing the paper list of 2012 and 2013 published in that particular journal, I will see how many times each paper is cited in some other index journal. Okay, it means the research paper that I have contributed in that particular journal, other people are reading that paper and citing. Citation means they are referring to that work. And if they are referring to that particular work, that will give me the weight of that journal. So example, you can understand this impact factor. If a journal has an impact factor 3 in 2008, okay, so if someone have claimed that my impact factor is 3, it means its papers published in 2006 and 2007 received 3 citations each on average in 2008. Okay, so the understanding of impact factor is for last 2 years, what is the average citation of each paper in that current year. Based on that only this impact factor list is updated. But because the one basic understanding that we have seen, that high impact factor is always given the more importance. So if a journal is saying that my impact factor is very high, so people are saying that okay, if your paper is contributed research in yeah, sure. Now, the moment this came, that high impact factor word. So if someone is saying that my paper is published in impact factor 6, 7, it and given the extra weightage and importance in the system, then many of the things are there related to this impact factor. In the next slide, we'll discuss that. What are the problems with impact factor? So the problem with impact factor is the validity. How to verify that someone is claiming that this is the impact factor that I got? Because there are many agencies which are going to help to generate this quality of journal. One specific case that I have mentioned in this document, in 2007, a specialist journal with an impact factor of 0.66 published an editorial that cited all its articles from 2005 to 2006. Okay, so what they have done in 2006, they have published various papers and cited all the papers that they have received in 2005 and 2006 in a protest against the absurd use of the impact factor, because they just want to prove that the impact factor method is not the right method to judge the quality. So because they have cited all the papers in 2005 and 2006 published in 2007, so the impact factor in 2007 was 0.66. Next year, this impact factor increased and become 1.44. Because the formula itself says the last 2-year paper cited how many times? Average citation should be increased. So if average citation increased, impact factor increased. So this is the thing that they have done just to protest and tell people that impact factor is not only the method to judge the quality of research paper. It could be one. Then I will discuss later some predatory journals which will write that my impact factor is 15, my impact factor is 15, 10. But we don't know how they have calculated this impact factor. This is the method that they have used to increase their impact factor. So, what is publishable? So, journals like to publish paper that are going to be widely read and useful to the readers. The good quality journal will only accept the manuscript if they found that the contribution done by the authors of the paper is useful for other researchers. If it is already available, they are not at all going to publish that work again. The papers that report original and significant findings. So if the researcher and the author is going to present the original work, the chances of getting published that paper is high. The paper that is well organized and well written, concise and yet complete in their presentation of the findings. So these are the important parameters that we have to see, that if I am going to document my research contribution, it should be in a proper manner. And then selecting the right journal for your scientific manuscript. So selecting the right manuscript, what are the tools that we'll see in the next slide? What should be the criteria? So International Standard Serial Number ISSN introduced in 1976, 8-digit serial number. So you will find two type of ISSN number. One is print, one is electronic. So there are many journals, those who only publish the paper, but they never print that document. It is available online always. So for online availability, the EISN number is given. Those who are going to publish a journal every year or by year or every month, they will write this with PSSN, ISN. This is the print. The criteria to consider information or content. Okay. So first thing, the journal used by yourself, mentor, advisor, or colleagues. So where to publish? If I am a person of signal processing or image processing, so if I am searching the journals, I cannot search all the 70,000 journals. I should see these are the journals that my preceders have followed, or my mentors or my advisors have followed. I should also try to publish in that same journal, because if they have done some research, I should utilize their research. The type of article published, so original research, review, case study. I have already said there are many types of journals. Length of manuscript accepted and supplemental data. So every journal will give you the specific length. Like in IEEE, if you are going to submit in transaction journal, the length is now 8 papers. So the whole contribution should be in 8 papers. And supplemental data. If someone is working on some research data specific, then you have to provide the data also, so that other people can use that data for comparison of their work. The other criteria that we can see, whether the years in publication, so how many years this journal have completed, cost and availability, is it paid or not paid, is it a peer reviewed, not peer reviewed, what are the impact factor for that particular journal. These are the criteria to identify the journals. But the best method is, if you have a supervisor, if you have a mentor, you can discuss for identification of this journal. Once you start publishing your paper, then later you will get to know that what is the criteria, how to follow the criteria. Okay, so I will skip this. These are the manuscript matching tools. So if you go to manuscript matcher, elsewhere journal finder, Springer journal selector, the keywords if you write, or the title if you write, it will give you, is the such type of such titled paper is published or not. Or if I am working in image processing, let's suppose I have to go for this elsewhere journal finder. So the moment I will go to this website, I will write, these are the keywords I have worked. What could be the possible journal for these keywords? So this journal finder will give me the solution. It will give me a list of 10 to 20 journals, more than that also sometime. And then I can pick any one journal which I found more suitable for my publication. Similarly, the Springer journal selector, I have to write the keywords there. And once I will write the keywords, it will give me a list of journals where I can publish or where I can submit my document. Some open access publications also available, and now many of the journals have given this option, this open access. Open access is very simple. It means author has to pay the fees for the audience. This is very simple. And because author have already paid for this, so free access for all the audience, so wider audience. And because it's a free access, so many people can read that paper and many people can cite your work if they found that suitable. Okay, so that is one thing. How to publish? Select the journal carefully, consider audience, consider chance of success, review instructions for author. So whenever I am going to find a journal, I have to see the guideline for author. So there are some guidelines for authors. It means which always give you, every journal have their own way of asking manuscript in a specific format or template. And as an author of the manuscript, I have to follow all the instructions given by that editorial or edit team. So that is important. Then plan and reflect. So worth reporting, do systematic and critical review. Is it original or better compared to the previous document that already published? Choose appropriate format and draft outline. So planning is important before writing the paper. Prepare. So first thing, the moment I am going to submit my research paper, I should be ready for the rejection itself. It's not that because I have said, okay, my paper is the best paper in the world, it should publish. No. There are many other people, those who are working in the same domain and they are writing, they are documenting their research. Rarely accept without revision. This is very important. Rarely accept without revision. I don't think that more than 2% chances are there that without revision they are going to accept your paper. Respond to comment promptly in the detail. So if reviewers of the papers have given some comment on your work, so then you have to respond all the comments properly. And in fact, if it is not selected, so don't get disheartened. Try again. So I will skip that why papers are rejected. What to do if reject? The only thing is revise promptly as requested, resubmit to some other journal, push and explain, choose another journal. So very simple is, if someone have said, okay, your work is not worth, you have to tell, no, this work is worth of publishing, and you have to explain in detail. So if someone is not convinced with the method, someone is not convinced with the approach, someone is not convinced with your explanation, you have to explain. And even if it is not happening in that particular journal, rejected in that particular journal, you can choose some other journal and revise before submitting to the next journal. So that is first point. Revise promptly as requested. And revise. There is no other method. So most importantly, keep trying till you get that paper published in any journal. This is the overview of peer review process. Paper submitted. Once you have written the paper submitted, confirmation of receipt. The moment you will submit, you will get a receipt acknowledgement that your paper is received. Initial decision by editor. So editor is the person who is working in that particular domain for many years, and he know the work submitted. He will see the abstract only, and seeing that abstract only, he will identify whether this paper is worth sending for review or not. Or if that paper itself is not in the template of the general guidelines and all, he will reject there only. So that immediately the editor can reject the paper. Editor, if he found that we should go for review, so he will decide to send the paper to review, and then he will assign reviewers. So depend on the journal, 2 to 5 reviewers, sometimes 6 have also. Reviewers has been assigned by editor. He will send that paper to reviewer. Reviewer will see the availability of his time. If he will find time, he will accept the invite. If he will not find the time, he will reject. If he will reject, again he will select some other reviewer. Then reviewer accept invite, review completed. Once review completed, reviewer will give you the options revise, accept or reject. Okay, so now if it is reject, so this reject word is given to editor. So reviewer will only communicate to editor. Editor will give you the decision. And if it is rejected, editor will inform to the author that okay, the paper is rejected. If reviewer is saying that there is a revision, so there are three classes: major revision, minor revision, or accepted with some minor changes. These are the 3-4 categories in review process. Once it is given the revised comment, editor will inform to the author that it's a revision. So once it is revision, it will come to revision. Then again, author has to work for that revision, the comment given by the reviewers, address all the comments, and then will submit the revision to editor again. Again, editor will send this to reviewer till either this reviewer is satisfied with the answers and found that now the paper is worth of publishing. He will comment to the editor that now all the queries, comments raised by me addressed, and now I am satisfied with the queries and answers. He will report to editor, and then editor will give you the final decision that paper is accepted. And once this paper is accepted, then this paper will be sent to the publisher. So whether it's IEEE, whether it is elsewhere, whether it is CRC, whether it is Springer, it will be sent to that publisher, and then they will document that paper. So one important thing is cover letter. When we send a paper, we have to write a cover letter to the editor. It is very important document with the paper, manuscript, cover letter, and supplement data if required. And sometime copyright. Okay, these are the important things that we have to submit during the submission of manuscript. So this is the general template of cover letter, that this is the journal editor name, title, journal name, dear Dr. so and so, date. I would like to submit the manuscript and title. Write your title by author's name to be considered for the publication of this, your journal name, article, whatever the mode that you are writing, whether it is an original article, whether it's a brief communication, letter, whatever it is, you can write. And then you can mention that what exactly you are going to address in that particular paper. And then you can close, looking forward for this, and you can close with your name and you can submit. This is the cover letter template. Now, one important term is predatory journals. So if you simply compare these predatory journals here, the credible journals. Credible journals means there is a peer review, revision, rejection. In a credible journals, which are the good to go. But there are some predatory journals. We should never try for predatory journals. And the meaning of predatory journals is journals are inviting you and publishing your research. So you will receive many of the mails from the predatory journals. Professor so and so, researcher so and so, we have seen your commendable job in the literature, and we invite you to send your paper in our journal, and our journal impact factor is more than 10-20. So these all are the fake journals. No need to go for the predatory journals. They will send you the invitation without revision, without peer review. They will accept. For that, they will ask you money. So don't go for predatory journals. These are the agencies which used to say that, okay, our paper is cited or our paper is indexed in all these things. If you see. So if someone is saying that my journal is cited or indexed in this, index in this, index in this, don't go. So protect yourself for predatory journals. No need to publish any paper where they are writing that our journal, our paper is cited in these. So no need to go for those papers, journals. Okay. One important point is plagiarism. So plagiarism is the simple meaning that it's a cheating. The research ethics simple is we should not copy. If we are copying directly, this is not acceptable. So plagiarism can get you expelled from the course, college or university. Okay. So first thing I will tell you, in any good university, I'll give you the example. For IITs and all, there is a certain limit for the reports. If someone is submitting the thesis, so the plagiarism report is 20%, because thesis is a document of 150 page approximate minimum. So 20% is the plagiarism, because everything, whatever we are writing is copied or can be taken from some other place. So if it is more than 20%, that thesis cannot be submitted for the award of degree. Okay. So this is first. Plagiarism can result in your work being destroyed. It can result in expulsion from you in academic institution, in some cases permanent expulsion, because it is directly the cheating. And legal action, fine or penalty can be imposed on the candidate who is copying some other's work. Okay. And to reduce this plagiarism, it doesn't mean that you have to change the sentences in active to passive and passive to active. No. If you are changing the sentence from active to passive or passive to active, it will change the sentence only. So changing the sentence is not the plagiarism removal. Plagiarism is all about idea. If you are using someone's idea, you have to give the proper citation, proper weightage to that author. You have to cite his work. So always avoid plagiarism. For that, many softwares are there. In Atria, we have Turnitin. So you can use Turnitin for checking the plagiarism. Okay. So this is the most scientists regarded the new streamlined peer review process as quite an improvement. So this is the main script, and here it is going to be accepted. These are the review process. So review process will always help you to improve the quality of the paper. These are the international guidelines for the research. So we have to see all these guidelines. These are the few professional bodies: ORCID, LinkedIn, ResearchGate, Google Scholar, EDAS, EasyChair, IEEE, Publon. All these are the important tools where a researcher must have an account. So I will show you one basic thing. Okay, so this is Google Scholar. Okay, so you must have an account in Google Scholar, and here you can search the paper. Let's suppose I want to search this paper. So this is the paper that I can search directly. Okay, this is one. I can see my profile. the papers published and all. This is one account. Second one is ResearchGate. This is the ResearchGate profile. So whatever the work that I have done is already published here also. Elsewhere, Science Direct. If I want to search, these are the books and research papers available for that particular keyword that I have written here, health. If I will write machine learning, it will give me the research paper having the word machine learning. Then I can shortlist here with the years. I can shortlist here with the article type. So here you can see review article, research article, encyclopedia, book chapters. I can search with the publication title itself. I can search with the subject area, engineering, medical dentistry, and many others. I can search with the access type, open access, open archive. So these are the options given to. Okay, next. Next is, this is Thomson Reuters. So Thomson Reuters will give you the quality of the paper. So you can see here Web of Science, Journal Citation Report, Publon, all the things that we have discussed in that slide. These all are the tools to identify the journals. I want to search, let's suppose, whether the journal that I am going to use is of worth or not. So this is a journal. I'm going to search here this journal. So no outcome. That means this journal is of not worth. I will write you can see a computer method in biomechanics and biomedical engineering. So you will find H index of this journal is 31, Med SCI index is 79.4, article number is 534, articles already published, publication support and all these things you can get. Peer review time is 48 week. So peer review time is 48 week means 48 week it will take So similarly others I can search. It is a indexed SCI impact factor. If I have to check the impact factor of that journal, I can check. This is the list of impact factor of all the journals. I can search with the name. So this is the impact factor you can see here. Timing also you can check here. ISN number you can check here. Article numbers published you can check here. And you can also find, like in medicine, you can see the accept ratio is 28.86 only. It means out of 100 only, this is the chances of success to get the paper. Nature Communication is showing 13.25. 13.25, it's very difficult to get a paper in Nature. It should be good quality, then only it will be published. So these are the things. Now, one important thing that I have to discuss with you all, just give me a second. Okay, this is one paper. So now if you see, you all have copied the content from some place and simply pasted here. Now if you just check this, you can see the left side It's a zigzag form. This is called justified. The document should be justified for each and every phrase. Now, there is a problem with this justification in Word itself. So because there is a problem in Word in justification, so then there are some other tools which I think it's very difficult to cover today. We'll discuss later. But I will just show you the example of that. This is a tool that I use for writing document, LaTeX. I'll just give you the output of this LaTeX. Here you have to write the code for the paper, whatever you want to write, and then it will convert it into the PDF. So here you can see the justification of the document. And it will remain same for all the pages. Okay, so this is one method. We'll have one session for this LaTeX itself for next session. Okay, so if you have any question, you can ask, but before writing your document, discuss with your mentor and try to get one conference paper minimum, that too in index conference. So if you have any query, you can ask. You can write in chat, you can unmute yourself, you can directly ask the question related to no question. See, the quality of reporting is very poor. We all have to understand the importance of the reporting, research writing. Try to write a paper for journal itself. The minimum level of the paper should be Scopus index or Indian citation index. At least try for these. Don't go for predatory journals. Don't go for paid journals. Check with your mentor the quality of the paper. It should be indexed in some good quality agencies. If you have any question, you please ask. No question? If there is no query, then I will close this session.
Arun sir, good morning.
Morning, sir.
Nice presentation. We are happy to listen from you. We are learning from you. And out of your experience, what are the review comments they will give, sir, in the high index journals? Out of your experience?
In general, for high quality journals, if you will propose any method, they will ask the questions based on the gaps identification, the method that you have picked, the conclusion that you are giving. Based on that only they will ask you why you have concluded, why you not given the proper discussion. Mostly they ask that based on the discussion and the outcome. So they say, okay, you are claiming that your paper is better, your method is better than these 5 methods. Why you have not picked the 6th method or 7th method? Because there are many methods available for the same problem, and we cannot compare the results with all the methods. So they will simply target that, okay, if you have not compared that particular method, so you please compare that method, use that method and compare your results with that. Then it becomes the next complete task for the author to do the whole work that some other scientist or some other author have completed. And many of the time it happens that it's very difficult to recreate that result because we don't know the settings, we don't know the parameters used by that author itself. So many of the information is not given in the paper. So it sometimes it become very difficult. But yes, they ask on methods. Let's suppose someone is doing this signal processing only or image processing. Let's suppose I will take a specific example. So like I submitted a paper and I used a k-fold cross-validation method. So the question that has been asked to me that why I have used this k-fold cross-validation, why I have not used leave one out cross-validation method. And then they asked me to perform the leave one out cross-validation method in my approach, and they asked me to compare the results. So I have picked one method, they will ask you some other method to compare. That is the very general comment that we used to get. Then second thing, that the first thing that they will check the nobility of the work. Any good journal will simply see the novelty of the work. If they will find that the same type of work is already published and there is very limited viewership or very limited audience for that work, they will not encourage such type of papers. They will only see that the work that is going to be published now in their journal, it should be worth publishing so that many of the other researchers will go and accept, read that paper and cite that work. Then only their impact factor will increase. Otherwise, only publishing in a paper which is not read by any other author or any other scientist is of no use in that journal. So they avoid such things, such practices. Then they will see the content copied or the proposed method, that if it is simply taken from some other method, they discourage such type of papers actually. And language and all other things are one parameter, but not that important. It is important. They see how we are going to represent document and show our results and discuss all the results. So these are the common things that they used to see. It's all the peer-reviewed journals see the same.
Thank you, sir. Sometimes, sir, and the new method, new approach, when you compare with other technique, the same results are coming, almost approximately equal results.
Yeah. So
In
when the same type of results are coming, then you have to comment why the same type of results are coming in the discussion sections. Then you have to go into the deep. You have to tell me, you have to tell the reviewer that because I am using this method and this method always give you such type of features, the result will come same or slight variation in results. But then you can comment, but the moment I am going to change the methodology, maybe the computation time is changing.
Discussion like a complexity will come.
Yeah, computational complexity you can discuss. Okay, no, okay, fine. if I am getting a number 90 in 10 minutes, an investment of 2 hours is going to give me 91 only. So I will say 90 is okay, fine for me. I will not invest my 2 hours there, because the time that I am going to invest is not at all going to give me the significant result improvement. So I can comment that my complexity in terms of time, I can say if it is a real-time application, so time is the important feature in real-time applications. I want the result in 1 second, and 1 second result is giving me 90 out of 100, and 10 minutes is going to give me 91 only. So I will not waste my time, because I want quick reaction, quick result.
Thank you, sir.
Anyone
Great
else?
information.
Sir, which one is more preferred, journal or conference publication, sir?
Obvious journal, but there are
And
many conferences whose weight, whose H index, whose impact factor is higher than journals also. But these are very dedicated conferences, and their weight is very high. So their selection ratio is also very less. So 10% or 20% only is the selection criteria for such conferences. You can check in IEEE, you can check in the matrix itself in Google Scholar. I'll just give me a second. I will just show you the matrix.
okay, sir.
So can you see this?
Yes, sir.
So now if you see the publication categories, you can check in subject wise: health, engineering, computer science. Let's suppose I am taking overall. So you can see here, Nature is the rank 1 journal. Okay. But if you see after Nature, the New England Journal of Medicine, the H index is 376, 365. Now, if you come to the 5th category, IEEE Conference on Computer Vision and Pattern Recognition. This conference, if you are getting paper published in computer vision and pattern recognition, having more weightage than all other journals coming after this conference. So it is a conference.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So, but in general, journals are having more weightage compared to conference in terms of performance calculation. So there are many other conferences also which are having more weightage than journal. So these all are the journals. You can see the H index and all is decreasing now. So based on the H index, it is going.
Sir, is it necessary to go for UGC approved journal, sir, or can we go for non-UGC approved as well?
See, no one is going to recognize you if you are going for non-accepted journals. I said predatory journals avoid. Avoid predatory journals. Predatory journal means they are only inviting you, please submit, pay 2000 rupees and we will publish your paper. It's of no use. No one is going to recognize that paper. So it's always good to go for index journals. And in fact, UGC Care journal is the last priority.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So discuss with your mentor, at least go with the Scopus index or Indian Citation Index,
Okay, sir.
ISI. The weight
Sure.
of ISI is 10% only whenever it comes to comment on the quality of journal. So weightage is given 10%. Scopus, if you'll go, the weightage is 50%. So if it is indexed in Scopus, 50% weightage is given to the paper. So it's always better to go for the highest. So minimum Scopus index you try. There are many Scopus index journals. If you will simply work with your mentor, properly document your research, your work, you can get the paper in Scopus index. The only thing is some delta X improvement you have to show in your work.
Okay, sir.
That is important.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. So anyone else? Okay, then thank you all for giving your time. Now I'm going to close this session.
Sir,